time for another Musician Life video. So we've already discussed playing in professional symphonies and teaching in a private studio as ways that musicians make money. Today we're going to talk a little bit about gigging, specifically playing weddings and how all of that works. So weddings are probably the most common type of gig that I get asked to play as a solo musician. There are tons of people that get married every year, and they all need some sort of music for their weddings. So it's really easy to get wedding gigs. One of the easiest ways is to go around to different wedding venues and give them your card so that they can recommend you to potential clients. So the way weddings usually work, if you are a solo musician like me, because it's different if you have a band, it's a little bit more complicated. But if you're a solo musician like me, usually you are going to get asked to play about 30 minutes of prelude music before the guests are all seated as they're coming into the venue before the wedding starts. Then you're going to be asked to play about 3 to 4 songs during the actual ceremony. And that part you do have to time out things a little bit more specifically and wait for specific cues that happen in the ceremony to know when to go to the next song and that sort of thing. But it's really not that difficult. Usually you're going to have one song for the entrance of the bridal party, one song for the entrance of the bride, and one song for the exit of the bride and groom after the wedding is over. So, and then some couples want you to play a specific song for the entrance of the families of the bride and groom before the bridal party comes out as well. So that's where you would get your 4th song if you end up playing 4. So that's going to be kind of what you'd be asked to do during the ceremony and before the ceremony. Sometimes as a solo musician, you'll be asked to play a cocktail hour, but not very often. Usually it's just the prelude and the ceremony, so it's really easy and really short. If you're with a band, that's where you get more gigs asking you to play cocktail hours and receptions. Although honestly, most people at this point just prefer to have a DJ play music for those events because it's a lot more expensive to hire an entire 4 or 5 piece band. But anyway, some of the tips that I would give to anybody who's looking to start playing wedding gigs as a solo musician are as follows. So number 1, probably the most important thing, is you need to have your policies laid out really clearly. And you need to tell those policies to any potential client that you have. So you need to decide how much you charge for every single thing. How much do you charge per hour? How much do you charge for custom songs? How much do you charge for bringing a PA system? That kind of stuff. You need to have that all figured out because inevitably weddings are just complicated because everybody wants something different, and you have to decide where your boundaries are and what you're willing to do and how much it's going to cost. Number 2, related to that, make sure you are placing a high value on your time and preparation. What I run into a lot, especially when I first started playing weddings and I didn't have everything really figured out yet, is that I would agree to play a wedding gig, and then the bride and the groom would ask me to do all of these little things that weren't really discussed before. And I had to decide, am I still willing to do that for the price that they've offered me? So place a high value on your time and charge for everything that's going to make it more inconvenient for you, because people have pretty high budgets for weddings a lot of the time. And if they're not willing to pay you to jump through hoops, then you can always find somebody who is. So, for example, obviously charge for your time per hour, but if they want you to play a song that you don't know, charge them extra for having to learn the song before you have to play it. If they want you to make an arrangement of a song or smash 2 songs together, something where you have to come up with a whole new format for a piece, charge extra for that. If they have a huge wedding and there's no way that the whole venue is going to be able to hear you if you just bring your instrument. So you're going to have to bring an amp and a whole PA system or plug in or whatever, charge extra for that too, because now you're schlepping equipment to and from the wedding venue. If they really want you to play because they've heard your recordings and they like what you do, but they're in the next state over, sure, agree to it if you're comfortable driving that far, but charge for your mileage. Like charge a premium. Like I charge $100 per hour of driving that I have to drive if it's over 2 hours away from my house for a wedding. So place a high value on your time because people are willing to pay it, I promise you, to get what they want in their special day. The final tip for anybody looking to start wedding gigging is to have a clearly defined bank of songs that you know, that are easy, that you can just kind of pull out of your hat. The importance of this is that you're not searching for enough music to play for 2 hours before every wedding. And it's also really stressful to allow the bride and groom to choose every single song on your list because you probably are not going to know all of them. And so then you have to spend extra time preparing and learning new songs. It's a really good idea to have a folder of music that's about 2 hours worth of music that's easy, that you know, that you can just play kind of whenever without having to practice a ton. And have a clearly defined style. Like decide if you're playing folk music or classical music or pop covers or whatever. But when you market yourself, say, you know, this is the music that I play. Here's my folder, here's my song list. If you want something out of this, if you want something that's outside of this list, you're going to have to pay extra. That makes it really easy for you as the musician to play weddings and have them be really low stress. That's it for today, guys. I hope that was helpful and insightful, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. See you next time.